Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow now. Let's get started. As fans of 19 Kids and Counting On would recall, Janet Duggar's life has always been intricately connected to her enormous family. This is something that they would remember very well. Jana is a big sister who has often taken on the role of family organizer, particularly when it comes to organizing enjoyable family activities and road trips. She is well known for her down-to-earth nature and her affection for her siblings. Jana recently went on an amazing journey with a couple of her sisters, traveling to Nebraska for a vacation that highlighted both the sisterly relationships that exist between them as well as the gorgeous landscape that can be found in the Midwest. An insider's perspective on this joyful voyage, which is full of memories, laughter, and the unique relationship that exists between the Duggar sisters is presented in this article. At her core, Jana has always been a wanderlust wanderer. Jana Duggar's passion for traveling to new locations has been widely chronicled, despite the fact that the Duggar family had a strong feeling of belonging and unity while they were growing up. Jana finds that she is able to feel delight in road travels that bring her closer to nature and new experiences. These road excursions may range from comfortable cabin vacations to city visits with friends. When her sisters recommended that they take a vacation to Nebraska, which was a state that they had not visited in its whole previously, she quickly agreed to her sister's suggestion. As the elder Duggar siblings begin to develop their own lives and families, Jana is aware that the value of spending quality time together becomes even more significant. Family is the most important thing in the Duggar family. Out of the rush and bustle of their typical routines, two sisters were able to reconnect with one another via the excellent chance provided by a road trip. The atmosphere was filled with enthusiasm as Jana and her sisters prepared their belongings for the trip, including their luggage and food. Joanna, Jessa, and Johannah were all members of the party, and they each brought their own distinct personalities and necessary travel items with them that they brought along for the expedition. During the trip, Joanna prepared her normal assortment of outdoor gear, while Jessa was prepared with a camera to record the most memorable moments she experienced. Johannah, who was the youngest member of the group on this excursion, was overjoyed just to be included with her older sisters. She contributed a youthful exuberance that kept everyone interested throughout the course of the trip. During the most of their journey, Jana was the one behind the wheel, and they traveled through some of the most beautiful parts of the Midwest. They swapped stories, laughed together, and snacked on road trip munchies along the way. These snacks ranged from handmade sweets that Jana had cooked in advance to oddities that they discovered at petrol stations. Additionally, in the normal manner of the Duggar family, they took along some family music, playing a variety of songs ranging from traditional gospel hymns to more cheerful, contemporary favorites in order to keep the automobile dynamic. After spending a considerable amount of time on the road, the sisters eventually made it into Nebraska, where they were met with expansive fields, charming tiny villages, and undulating landscapes. Because of Jana's passion for discovering the one-of-a-kind allure of tiny communities, their first trip was an especially memorable one. The sisters made the decision to visit a few local cafes, where they sampled a variety of substantial dishes, ranging from traditional Nebraska beef burgers to comfort food casseroles that brought back memories of their childhood. They went to a vintage cafe that was famed for its cinnamon buns, which was one of the most memorable stops they made. As they sat down, the air was filled with the enticing scent of it. They were telling one another tales and tormenting each other, just as siblings do. Jana used her phone to record the occasion, taking images of her sisters looking at each other with grins that looked like they were made of cinnamon sugar. In addition, the sisters had a wonderful time going to a farmer's market in Nebraska, where they were able to try some of the regional products and purchase some delicious delights such as fresh honey, jams, and handmade soaps. Jana, who has a passion for gardening and creating environments that are warm and inviting, couldn't help but purchase a few handcrafted pots and seeds to take back with her. Joanna even made a joke along the lines of, "Jana is going to transform the entire backyard into a Nebraska garden." During their journey to Nebraska, one of the most memorable experiences was discovering the natural beauty of the state. The sisters made the decision to go trekking on a beautifully landscaped route in the middle of Nebraska, where they would be surrounded by gorgeous vistas and bright autumn colors. Jana, who has always had a deep appreciation for the natural world, was fully immersed in her natural environment as she led her sisters down the path as they paused to snap pictures of the fall leaves. Bit they were out on their trek, they came upon an isolated location that had a stream that flowed gently through it. Jana recommended that they rest there for a bit and take in the tranquil atmosphere of the area. With Johannah exploring the adjacent rocks and plants, Jessa and Joanna took advantage of the chance to talk about parenting and the changes that had occurred in their lives. Johanna also showed her elder sisters the tiny treasures that she discovered along the route. While Jana was seeing her sisters, she had a profound feeling of thankfulness. She treasured the chance to spend time with them at a location that was far from the hectic pace of daily life, where they could show appreciation for one another and the natural world. The fact that she was constantly loving and looking after her brothers was shown by this moment of introspection, which was a tribute to her duty as an older sister. In order to ensure that her sisters would not forget their journey, Jana made sure to incorporate a few unconventional stops along the way. One of these places was an antique store in a tiny town that was known for its one-of-a-kind and vintage items. Jana has a passion for finding new uses for old things, and this store was a veritable treasure mine for her. She and her sisters spent a considerable amount of time going through the aisles of knickknacks, giggling as they tried on old hats, looked through antique jewelry, and even found a few items to take home with them. Subsequently, they went to a park that was enchanting and included a gorgeous fountain and pond. Johannah proposed that they go out in paddle boats, which was a jovial idea that resulted in everyone getting a little wet but really enjoying the excursion that was packed with laughter. They floated along, laughing with each other and splashing one another in the warm Nebraska sun during their impromptu adventure, which became one of their best memories from the vacation. When the day was coming to a close, the sisters went in search of a quaint cottage where they would spend the night. Because Jana is so skilled at creating cozy environments, she was able to rapidly transform their cabin into a place that felt like home. After warming up with hot chocolate and lighting a few lights, they gathered on the sofa, and each sister shared their favorite aspect of the day with the other sisters together. The conversation turned into a more introspective one as they discussed the experiences they had while growing up together, the ways in which their lives have evolved, and the goals they have for the future. In her opening statement, Jana expressed how significant these occasions were to her. As the eldest of her siblings, she expressed how she often felt a need to provide support and guidance to them, but she also expressed her gratitude for the fact that she had learned a great deal from each of them. As a result, Joanna, Jessa, and Johannah conveyed their appreciation to Jana for her unflinching love and calm strength. The sisters' unshakable relationship was strengthened by the rare moment of weakness that drew them closer together. This moment of vulnerability was an uncommon occurrence. Following a brief but enjoyable excursion, it was time for them to make their way back to Arkansas. The sisters packed their vehicle, but not before stopping for one final breakfast at a nearby cafe. While they were there, they spoke about upcoming travels and what they intended to do together in the future. A tiny memento, a photograph, or even just a warm and fuzzy recollection of the tranquil surroundings and enjoyable experiences they had in Nebraska were all things that each of them brought back with them from their trip to the state. During the journey back home, they were full with laughter as they reminisced about the most memorable moments of their trip, sang along to the music, and even made plans for Jana to take the family on another road trip in the not-too-distant future. Regardless matter where they went, Jana's vacation served as a reminder of the pleasures that come with being a part of a family and the splendor that comes from creating memories with one another. This trip was more than simply a vacation for Jana Duggar. It was an opportunity for her to build her relationship with her sisters, to bring them closer together via experiences that they had in common, and to show them a portion of the world through her eyes. The vacation was filled with love, laughter, and memories that will last a lifetime because each sister contributed something special to the table, and together they produced a journey that was memorable. Jana had a sense of freshness and gratitude upon her return to Arkansas. This road journey gave her the opportunity to view her sisters in a new light, as people who had hopes, anxieties, and ambitions. She had always placed a high importance on family, but this gave her a new perspective. Not only was this trip to Nebraska more than simply a trip, it was also a reminder of the love and support that will always tie the Duggar sisters together, regardless of where life may take them in the future. The road journey to Nebraska was a chapter that Jana and her sisters would enjoy for the rest of their lives. It was a vacation that reaffirmed the profound significance of family, the enchantment of adventure, and the unbreakable tie that exists between sisters.